Here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for this short and spicy yoga flow. So today we will be flowing through some dynamic transitions. It will be fun, it will be creative. As always, we will be bringing awareness into the body as we move. So always make the practice your own, listen to your body and take what you need from the class and leave anything that is not for you today. So we'll come down into a comfortable seated position to start. See how it feels to bring the hands to the knees or the thighs with the palms facing down. And we're going to close down the eyes or take a steady gaze. And start to bring a little bit of softness into the breath, the body. Seeing if you can soften the shoulders and the face. Let the sitting bones sink down into the ground. Notice your breath and how your breathing feels. And starting to scan into your inner space, notice how you're feeling, how you're showing up on your mat today. Starting to elongate the exhales a little bit more now. We're going to breathe in for 3 and breathe out for 6. For any time it doesn't feel right for you, just coming back to your natural breath. So breathing in for 1, 2, 3. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And coming back to your natural breathing. And we'll start to open the eyes back up if you had them closed. Take a couple of shoulder rolls here. And keeping this right leg bent in, see if you can take your left leg out to the left side. Doesn't matter how far out it comes. Inhale, sweep the right fingertips up, create space. As you exhale, find a stretch over to the left side. Breathing into the right side body. If it's in your practice, you can tuck this arm under. Those right fingertips could find the toes, but just remembering not to force anything here. We're still early on in the practice. Releasing from the stretch. Option to either use the hands or take them away. Bend in the left leg, reach the right leg out to the side. Nice. Inhale, left fingertips sweep up, create space. Exhale, finding that stretch over to the right side. Breathing down into the left side body. Noticing how this side of the body feels, any differences, any sensations. Noticing the aliveness of your body. And coming back up to center. Nice. So from here we're going to roll over into tabletop position. And start to gently rock back and forth, warming up into the wrists and the hands. Maybe moving around into some circular movements. Just getting those hands and wrists nice and warm. Staying with your breath. You might like to point the fingers out to the side and see how that feels. And then maybe point them inwards. Notice whatever you notice. And bringing the hands back to something that feels like neutral. Work through a couple of cat and cow movements. Maybe starting to move into the side body as well. So could be rolling, imagining that you're in a bubble and that you're trying to get your torso and then your back to touch the different sides of the bubble, the top of the bubble, the bottom of the bubble. Let me know if you like that visualization or if you like to use a different visualization. So really moving into the spine and the side body. Nice, coming back to center. We're going to lift this right leg away from the ground, reach it out behind. And then see how it feels to lift the left fingertips away, reaching forwards with the left fingertips, pressing back with the right foot. Bring that left hand down to your mat. Keep your right leg lifted. We're going to tuck under the left toes and see how it feels to exhale, lift back to downward facing dog with the leg lifted, so you're actually in a 3-leg dog. Nice. Keeping that right leg lengthened, see if you can start to take some little circles. Maybe your foot is catching the plant or any plants or obstacles nearby like mine is. Just be careful. My plant's very friendly, but if you've got a wall or something there, that might not be so great. And just moving into that hip space, taking those circular movements. Well done. And meet back in your 3-leg dog. Ooh, already feeling that spice. And then we're going to come out as we came in. So see if you can look between the hands and let that left knee drop down to the mat. Can you keep the back leg lifted? Can you then float that right foot out to the side, then bring it down to the ground? As you exhale, walk your hands out in front, melt your heart down to the mat for this version of extended puppy pose. Close the eyes or soften the gaze here. Breathing into the chest, the shoulders, the back of the body. Melting into your mat. One more breath here. As you inhale, walk the hands back in. Lift your right leg, bring it back into center. Well done. So make sure that you've got the space required to do these creative movements. Really good for the mind and the brain to get a bit creative and kind of maybe do a sequence that you might not have put in your body before. This is really good for building new pathways in the brain, for connecting everything up. So lift your left leg away from the mat, reach it out behind, breathing here. Right fingertips reach forwards. As the right fingertips reach forwards, press back through the left foot, strong inner line of energy. Float the right hand back down. Keep that left leg lifted if you can. Don't worry if it comes down. Tuck under your right toes and exhale. Press back to your 3-leg dog. Nice. Remember, you can come down, take a child's pose at any time. And then with this left leg, we're going to start creating some circles. So make these circles as big or as small as you want them to be. Imagine that you're drawing a circle on the ceiling, the side wall, whatever works for you. Just moving into that hip space. And using lots of strength as well here. Nice. Taking your last one. And then meeting back in your 3-leg dog. Look between your hands. Start to bend into the right leg. Bring your right knee back down to the mat. keeping the left leg lifted if you can. Sweep the left leg out to the side, bring it down to connect with the ground. And then as you exhale, melt down into this version of extended puppy pose. Oh, breathing here, taking any releasing breaths if that feels good to you. So breathing, sighing it out through the mouth. Letting it go, letting go of any tension or stress, anything that's simply no longer needed. Just being in this practice here and now in your body. And just noticing how incredible and alive your body is. Taking one more breath here. And start to lift the chest, walk the hands back in, and then guide that left leg back into center so you're back in your tabletop position. Well done. So option for a child's pose now if that's what you're feeling for, or you're going to tuck the toes under and we're going to hop the feet to the outside of the hands and sit the hips down, find Malasana. Crown of the head's reaching upwards. So start to take a little bit of movement in your Malasana. Could be a little rock from side to side. You might like to add in some reaches with the arms as you move. So see if you can feel into what movements feel nourishing for you. Where do you need to go today in this class, in this practice? Meeting back in your Malasana wherever you are, so you could be using blocks, taking any support that you need. We're going to see how it feels to bring your hips down to the mat and see if you can find Navasana boat pose. Doesn't matter if how you just got there is completely different to the way that I just did it. We're all in different bodies. See what works for you. So we're going to have a bit of fun here. So from your Navasana, we're going to take a rock back. So you can either have the hands free or they could be behind the legs for this. And then as you come forwards, try and come forwards and catch yourself in your Malasana. So again, doesn't matter if you're rolling around all over the place. So seeing if you can pause in Navasana and then come through into a Malasana. Navasana, Malasana. So catching yourself in the poses where you can, or maybe you're just getting really fluid and coming through. So again, bring a little bit of light-hearted energy if you can to these movements. Just think about we're warming up the body. So however these movements look, it doesn't really matter. Focus on how it feels and your response to the movement, your response to the pose. Nice. So when you're next in your Malasana, just meeting there, bring your hands down to the ground and then take a big step back to your downward facing dog. So from your downward facing dog, take a moment to breathe, take any movements. This is your first downward facing dog of the day, which it may well be. Just settling in to the pose, finding your breath. Then on your next inhale, sweep the right leg up, find that three-leg dog. And draw the right knee to the nose. Sweep it back to three-leg dog. This time look between the hands, step the right foot through between the hands. And then power into that right leg. Left hand comes to the mat or a block. Find your evolved Ardha Chandrasana. So right fingertips reaching up, breathing here. Nice. Now from here, we're going to start to lift the left hand away from the mat and see if you can keep that back leg lifted. And we're going to bring it through, Bring the peace fingers of the left hand to the left big toe. Lengthen that left leg out in front so we're in our hand to big toe pose. Imagine the crown of the head lifting, keeping that space across the chest. This leg can be bent, it doesn't need to be completely straight. You can always work with a strap here as well. And then I'm going to see if you can release that left foot, and we're going to find our way back to our revolved Ardha Chandrasana. So meeting back there. Nice. Right fingertips reaching up. So from here, see if you can stay in this twisted position with the upper body. Take a big step back with the left leg. And then palms of the hands come together. So now we're in this twisted lunge. Beautiful. Breathing here. See if you can really draw the belly away from the thigh. Press the palms of the hands together and look up towards the ceiling. Nice. Seeing if you can stay in the twist and drop the back knee down so we're in a low twisted lunge. And then start to release from the twist. Take a big inhale. Sweep the fingertips up, lifting from the waist. Plant the hands back down to your mat. Step it back to plank and take your version of vinyasa, chaturanga. Inhaling through into an upward facing dog or a cobra. And exhale back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the left leg up for three-leg dog. Float the left knee to the nose. Sweep the left leg back up to three-leg dog. This time step the left foot through between the hands. Right hand's going to come down to the mat or a block. Find your revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Left fingertips reach up. Breathing here. Seeing if you can find your balance. Maybe softening into the standing leg a little bit here. See what works for you. Start to float this right leg through. So right peace fingers come around that right big toe. Lengthen out that right leg for your hand to big toe pose. Keeping the space across the chest. Using any straps. Or changing the placement of the hand. Bending the leg if you need to. And then coming out as we came in, see if you can make your way back to your revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Breathing here. Now taking a big step back with the right foot, finding your twisted lunge. So that right elbow's hooking on the left thigh. Palms of the hands together, pressing the hands together, sending the gaze up towards the ceiling or in that direction. And then see if you can lower your back knee down. So now you're in a low twisted lunge. Nice. Start to unravel from the twist. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up, lifting from the waist. Flow the hands back down to your mat. Step it back to plank. Flow through your version of vinyasa or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back, downward facing dog. Now, option here to take your child's pose. You can always stay in your downward dog, or you can take an inversion of your choice. So if you're working with a kick up to handstand, that's just an option. What you can do is step the feet a little bit closer in than you would have them in your downward dog and play with just kicking one leg up at a time and using that momentum, maybe coming up, finding a little handstand. For having a little play. And then meeting back in a downward facing dog. Leg back up. So we're coming back to this sequence that we did before, but adding in a couple of other options. So we're going to draw the right knee to the nose. Sweep it back to three-leg dog. This time, look between the hands, float the right foot through. Find your revolved Ardha Chandrasana. So left leg's lifted, right fingertips reaching up. Breathing here. Start to lift the left hand away from the block or the ground. Float this left leg through. Peace fingers come to the toes. Option to open that left leg this time out to the left side, so opening into that left hip space. Maybe the gaze comes over the right shoulder. Staying with your breath, staying aware and alert of your inner space, of your body. And bringing that left leg back to center. Release the hand, sweep the left leg back. See if you can come back to your revolved Ardha Chandrasana. See if you can relax the face and come back to that softness in the face if you can. This time I'm going to take a big step back with that left foot. See if you can lift up so you're in your twisted lunge with the arms lengthened. Maybe this right arm floats back and catches that left thigh and the left fingertips reach up, lifting from the waist. Nice. Floating forwards, bring the palms of the hands together. Take the hook in your twist. So left elbows hooked on the right thigh. An option, if you want to have a little bit more spice here, is you can come into your side crow. So you could bring the hands down, using the arms as the shelf. Maybe the legs lift away from the ground in a little side crow. Wherever you are, making your way back to your lunge. Coming back to palms of the hands together, drop your back leg so you're in a twisted low lunge. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up. Exhale, float the hands back down. And then shift the hips back, find your Ardha Chandrasana, Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split position. So right foot's flexed, drawing back with the right hip. Breathing here. And then making your way back to your plank position. Take a vinyasa or chaturanga. Inhaling upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to downward facing dog. Well done. Inhale, sweep the left leg up, three-leg dog. Bring the left knee to the nose. Reach the left leg back to three-leg dog. Step the left foot through between the hands. Right hand comes down to the ground or a block. Find that revolved Ardha Chandrasana, revolved half moon. Breathing here. Left fingertips reaching up. And start to lift. So lifting the chest, coming through standing, right leg bends in. Peace fingers come around that right big toe. Reach the right foot out in front. Breathing here. Taking any adjustments, making this practice yours. Option to open that right leg out to the right side, opening into the hip space. Maybe the gaze can come over that left shoulder. Don't worry about wobbles, shakes. I'm wobbling and shaking too. You might not be able to see it, but trust me, I am. I'm in this with you. So well done. And then see if you can bring that right leg back through to center. And we're going to come back down to find that revolved half moon position again. Breathing into that space. Take your big step back with the right foot. Lift into your twisted lunge with the arms lengthened. Either staying here or maybe that left hand catches the right back of the thigh. Right fingertips reach up here. So almost in a kind of revolved reverse warrior. Or give it your own name if you prefer. Releasing from this, bring the palms of the hands together. Come back to that hook with the right elbow on the left thigh. Either staying here or taking your little side crow, if that's in your practice. Taking any little variations of this. Making your way back to your lunge. And then drop the back knee down. Find your twisted low lunge. Nice. Inhale, swoop the fingertips up, lifting from the waist. Exhale, bring the hands down, shift the hips back. Find your Ardha Hanumanasana half split. So flexing into that left foot. Drawing back with the left hip. See how it feels to gently press the heel into the ground. To bring some activation into that left leg. Well done. Take a big step back to plank. Flow through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale back to that downward facing dog. Well done. Take a releasing breath here if that feels good to you. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Let it all go. Look between the hands. Jump the feet into the outside of the hands. Sit the hips down back to your malasana. Palms of the hands come together. And then from here, either using the hands for support or however you need to, bring your hips down. Find your way back to your boat pose, Navasana. From here, we're going to lower down into a dome shape. So lengthening the legs, just hovering off the mat for 1. And back up. Down for 2. And back up. Down for 3. And back up. Down for 4, and back up, last one, down for 5, and back up, holding here if you can, breathing, and bring the legs down to the mat. Well done. Take a big hug, wrap your arms around your legs, and exhale, drop the forehead down towards the knees, close the eyes or soften the gaze. And slowly lifting the head when you're ready, just making your way back to your comfortable seated position on your mat. You can bring the hands down to the knees or the thighs with the palms facing down, keeping the eyes closed if you can. We'll take a releasing breath to close off this practice. Breathing in for 3 counts and then breathing out through the mouth like a big sigh. So inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhale, release. When you're ready, you can start to open the eyes back up. taking a steady gaze. Thank you so much for your time and your energy and for joining me for this kind of strong and spicy practice. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do comment and feedback to me on how you're getting on. I do offer a monthly membership where there are more variety of lengths of flows on there. There's also the option for some live classes and lots of exciting things coming to that membership soon. So do check out the link below if you might be interested in flowing with me on there. I would love you to come and be part of the community with me. But do subscribe to this channel, it is completely free. And yes, thank you so much. I can't wait to flow with you again really soon. Take care, bye.